Thanks everyone for joining us in this discussion as Saint Lucia and countries around the world prepares to observe December 3rd as the Day for Persons with Disabilities. And in studio to discuss this particular subject today is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Crime Prevention and Persons with Disabilities. It's Mr. Ricky Quinlan. Welcome, Mr. Quinlan.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, we're happy to have you here for this special occasion. We know Saint Lucia is getting ready for the second time to observe this day, which we are going to be featuring on December 3rd. And there's a program that Saint Lucia is going to be carrying out for the second time. The initial one was done last year on the Derek Walcott Square. This year you're planning to go down south of the island to continue spreading that message of inclusivity,
yeah,
as far as making the public aware of persons with disabilities and how they can be fostered and being included in the society. So first of all, can you tell us broadly about the mandate of the Ministry for Persons with Disabilities?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. O'Brien, for having me. The mandate of the Ministry of the Persons with Disabilities is one, to promote inclusion, empowerment, and equal opportunities for persons with disabilities. The focus we have had to look at is that we don't want any person left behind when it comes to disabilities. We believe that persons' rights ought to be protected. We believe that under the whole national policy or development of the country, that persons with disabilities are brought to the spotlight. They are made aware that they want to be part of it. Okay, even in the international arena, you have the United Nations rights for persons with disabilities. We have signed on to 2 conventions, and we are definitely looking forward to, I believe they have already been ratified, and we are looking to more or less implement what it is we have signed on for.
Okay, so you have a broad-based committee that's doing all the plans for the big day. Can you tell us some of the organizations that you have involved in this planning process?
Some of the organizations we are in partnership or collaboration with is Ministry of Equity, we have Ministry of Education, we have Ministry of Health. We also have some of the organizations for persons with disabilities, such as the Saint Lucia Blind Welfare Association, the HARPA, which is Helen Associates of Persons with Autism. We also even have the Rotary Club as part of our collaboration efforts. These are just a few of those that we have on board.
Okay, but there's also a particular theme for this year. I don't want to zoom in on the theme and tell us particularly how relevant this theme will be in terms of getting the objectives that you would like for hosting an event like this.
The theme for this year, the global theme, is amplifying leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. However, what we have done, we have allocated our own theme for Saint Lucia, which is building an inclusive Saint Lucia together. Okay, what we are looking at this time around is that we decided to go to the south of the island. We believe that since we had it last year in the north of the island, I saw it fitting that, and not just me, but the members of our committee, we found that we wanted to move away from the north. We wanted to try to get as many persons from the south involved, so that the whole idea of sensitization for Saint Lucia is brought to the fore. That was our main reason for going down to the south.
Well, it's a relatively new ministry in terms of the appendage of persons with disabilities being added on to the ministry. How has that experience been mainly because it's been just a short time. What has been some of the challenges that the ministry has faced?
Some of the challenges we have faced is that we in the ministry, it's a new area for us. It's a new field, especially for myself, because persons with disabilities has been brought to the fore by the current government by giving it its own ministry. Okay, and when we sat down and we look at, okay, where are we going to go with this? You know, we decided that, okay, let's look at our regional counterparts. We realized that Barbados has a very sound persons with disabilities ministry, and I think even this year they recently passed the new Disability Act in the Parliament. So we looked at what it is that persons with disability in Saint Lucia want. And we decided, okay, Ministry of Equity is currently looking at a disability policy, which hopefully will bring to the fore what it is that persons with disability want. One of the other, well, you indicated challenges. So one of the challenges that we faced was not knowing who are our customers. Okay, so when we realized that, okay, we need to find a way to find out who are they and what it is that they require, we came up with what you call a disability registry. So we started, first of all, by engaging the stakeholders. So it was October of 2024, we called a stakeholder consultation. We held that at the Union Terrace conference room, and that was really a success for us, because it was then we started to understand what it is that persons with disabilities require. I think I would say the main challenge I have with the ministry has with our disability society is that of trying to get them to be more independent. Okay, and by that what I mean is that, you know, you want to create that environment where persons with disabilities don't have to call on other persons to assist them in getting what they want done. I think that's our main challenge, and that's what we hope to basically address, but we are going to do it in a systematic way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quinlan. We're going to take our first break now, but we'll be back. We'll be continuing. We're going to look at the success of last year's event, and then we're going to continue focusing on preparations for the observance this year. We'll be back in just a moment.
La vie m'a changé juste comme ça. Avec même bagay lan, ça arrive.
Moving around could be a challenge for persons with disabilities, but there is some good news.
Yes, all banks in Castries have ramps for accessibility.
Moi, pour une compagnie business qui a fait une différence.
True, but for years, I had difficulties getting into Parliament.
No ramps.
No ramps, no lift.
Same for the Central Library, and this must change.
Cox, pas Castries seulement.
Canawi, Soufouye, Vieux-Fort, Mikou, Rosilé, Place qu'on laisse la way, Exoisey.
EQUIP, the Education Quality Improvement Project, ensuring new schools under the project have wheelchair access and facilities for persons with disabilities. This is a message from EQUIP, the Ministry of Education, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Thanks for staying with us, and welcome back. We continue with our in-studio discussion with the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Crime Prevention, and for Persons with Disabilities, Mr. Ricky Quinlan. And we are looking forward to the observance of December 3rd for persons with disabilities, the International Day being observed, Saint Lucia being part of the observance. Mr. Quinlan, quickly we can look back at last year's observance. It was an initial process, it was a trial, and so to speak, maybe you'd like to give us some feedback as to how that day went as we look forward to the celebrations coming up on December 3rd.
Thank you. I would say that last year's observance was a successful one. I must admit it was a real success for me, getting to know the various communities or the societies, the Disability Society, and it brought visibility to these persons. And for us, it also gave us some insight as to how we can move forward. So this year we are looking at inclusion, okay? Whereas last year we basically brought the Disability Society to the front, made persons more aware of them, and that, you know, they exist and they too have a part to play in our country's development. I would say this year we are focused on the inclusion for disabilities, International Day for Persons with Disabilities 2025.
Okay, before we look at this year's preparations and what's going to be on the program, what was the feedback like from persons who attended and the general population into what was presented last year?
Some of the feedback we got was that they appreciated the recognition. They commended us for really taking the time to actually showcase persons with disabilities, their talents, their abilities, okay, and that they are not entirely disabled as persons would use, which is a derogative word to describe them. So I must say that we got some positive feedback. They look forward to this year's Disabilities Day as to what it is we are going to showcase, and that they wanted more of it. They wanted more activities, more recognition.
Okay, and as you said, we're going south this time. We're going to really spread it around the island.
Yes.
And you, I'm sure, would have a program that's well outlined already. Could you tell us some of the highlights that we're going to be able to have the public expecting on December 3rd?
We have contacted several groups as well as individuals who are going to be performing, some of which are persons with disabilities, some of which are persons without disabilities. Okay, we looked at our theme of being inclusive and moving forward together, in that it should not be just persons with disabilities. What we are saying, we want both persons with disabilities and persons without to have that harmony of working together and collaborating. The Lady Gordon Opportunity School, they had a performance of dancers, which a lot of persons gave praise to, and we brought them back on this year. Okay, so we bring in these sorts of participants, as well as you're going to have a variety of, I would say, activities happening on the day, such as we are bringing on the persons who has a blind disability. They will be performing activities such as sample massages, okay, for the public. We also have the Viewfort Secondary Special Ed School, which will be putting on other performances. They will have showcases of their talent, such as they will be selling stuff as well, stuff that they have prepared themselves. We even have some of the young persons in that school performing some calypso. It's
quite impactful that in an event like this, you're not just having persons who would have the different issues with inclusion, but also persons of the general public who do not have that challenge. So they can be around, they can interact and see how they can play a part in ensuring that persons who have the various challenges in whatever walk of life, that they can feel included in the progress and the continued building of the nation.
Yes, definitely. So I want to also bring to the fore, we will have a tent specially for persons with autism. And I say that because we sometimes tend to sideline them and forget that they exist, and that the persons with autism, they have special needs that we are trying to address on that day in particular, so that they can be part of the activity. So we will have a special tent just for them.
Okay, so we're going to take our second break, but we'll be back to really look at some of the main objectives and how are you going to achieve them based on the celebrations this year. We'll be back after this short break.
Julina, Senator, you're planning a boat ride, man?
No, we're just planning to take over the world.
She's joking. We are just discussing disability etiquette. It's how we refer to people with disabilities.
For example, you do not say Julina is confined to a wheelchair or wheelchair bound.
Oh, really?
Julina is a wheelchair user or a person who uses a wheelchair.
Also, do not refer to a person as crippled or handicapped. The person has a disability.
And please, do not call anybody mentally retarded. He or she has an intellectual disability.
So how would you call Stevie Wonder then?
Stevie Wonder is blind. Do not say he is a blind person. Disability etiquette is about treating people with respect.
Saint Lucia, we have a lot to learn.
This is a message from EQUIP, the Ministry of Education and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back. We continue with our build-up for the observance of International Day for Persons with Disabilities. With me in studio is the Acting Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Persons with Disability, and also there's the appendage of Home Affairs, Crime Prevention as well. These are some of the responsibilities of that particular ministry. Well, Mr. Quinlan, we're getting into our final segment. Looking at the theme itself, we know there's a particular objective that you're trying to meet with the Saint Lucian public in highlighting the inclusivity of persons within the society who might feel marginalized based on the fact that they might not be within the mainstream of activities and maybe not having the opportunity to participate fully in the development of society. I'm sure that your focus on this day will be to ensure that the general public gets an idea and gets the appreciation that there are persons who might fall in that bracket, that they can feel welcome and part of the nation's development. How does your theme work towards those objectives?
Okay, what our main takeaway or our main objective, I would say, is to move beyond the awareness, okay, of persons with disabilities, and to go into more concrete action, okay, by improving the quality of life for these persons and also the long-term inclusion. We want to deepen the collaboration between organizations, schools, local government, okay, so that way we can have a more accessibility and economic development for that particular sector of our people. Okay, one of the things we really want to look at in the coming financial year is the employment of persons with disabilities. It's something that I am still grasping with how we are going to achieve it, but I think that it is on the table for discussion, and we continue to have that collaboration with them, so on how we can make this a reality. Yeah.
So I suppose that you're also calling on the members of the public, those who can, to participate, visit the location, which is the Vieux Town Square, on December 3rd. I think actually starting from 10 in the morning and going up to at least maybe 2, maybe a little longer, based on the enthusiasm of the persons who come around and how much they might want to know. And you did mention that there'll be the different agencies that you're working with in planning this day, and they'll be putting on sort of awareness within the population as to what the organization is doing and how the public can get informed and to assist and to become much more aware of the persons which they cater for within the society. I'm sure that you would like to call on the public to come out and support on that day, and those who can come to actually be part of the activity and to attend the celebration on that day in Beaufort.
For sure, yes. that was one of the main reasons, because we believe that there are ample people, the population of Vieux-Fort, I mean, I wouldn't know the population, but I believe that there are sufficient people to participate. And not only that, but if you are aware, the activity falls on a Wednesday, and normally on a Wednesday it's a half day in Vieux-Fort where work is concerned. So we're asking persons, those who are coming from work, to stop by and come and give a cheer or come and support us in this activity. It's a very big sensitization project for us, because we want persons to come and share their information, come and find out how you can assist, or if there's any way, or if you know somebody with a disability who is unable to leave their homes, or they are unable to do certain activities that you would like, we are here to try to see how we can make this a reality. At the Ministry of Disabilities, we have embarked on supplying wheelchairs to those who are in need. The Prime Minister has given his word on supplying wheelchairs to the ministry so that it can be disseminated to the population. So it's just a matter of time before it becomes into fruition, and we are looking to at least meet our persons in that regard. We also, at the ministry, I just wanted to put it out there that we work alongside the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, whereby they would assist in granting persons with disabilities the waiver of taxes, the import duties on disability equipment, even vehicles that would assist persons with disabilities. All these are some of the services that the ministry is providing to the Persons with Disabilities Society.
That's been our discussion as we look forward to the anniversary celebration this year of Persons with Disabilities. Remind you once more, it's on December 3rd, and it's going to be held at the Vieux-Fort Town Square from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. We are the first in studio today, the Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Crime Prevention and Persons with Disabilities. I'm Ryan O'Brien. See you next time.